The Legends of Half Moon Harry. There we are again. Me and my brother Rowie, we were being laughed at. We didn't like it, but we were getting used to it. That's why we are always sick together. It's always take a while to settle into a new school. Our dad is a scientist. He works on radios, telescopes, and he travels all over the country. This his work and his whole family always goes with him. We move into a new house and go to a new school and meet new kids. Half Moon Harry treasure, said one kid, who was laughing so much he was nearly choking. There's no such thing. It's just someone's old legend. That sucks and froth. The choking kid was known as Krusty because his dad was located butcher and has made the best cheese Krusty sausages in town. Frosty came looking for the treasure every year. No one ever found it because it doesn't exist. Frosty and his mates shouted seemed away. But we know that Krusty didn't have the whole story. Before we moved, we had found out everything we could about our new home. Half Moon Harry really did live here for 1815. He used to rob stagecoach, and his favorite time for holding up stagecoach was when there was a half moon. That's how he got his name, Half Moon Harry Roll. Half Moon Harry. Roll and I knew all that was true. There was even a gravestone in the community with his real name on it, Harvick Mixie. But his part about his lost treasure, well, no one's sure if it was true or not. The kids at school were confident that it was all a big joke. But I loved a challenge. We were determined to find Half Moon Harry's lost treasure and prove everyone wrong. We had shovels and map and a compass. We had our backpacks and we had food and water. We knew what we were looking for anything that looks like a half moon cut into a tree or a rock. That was Half Moon Harry's trademark. All the maps of the area point to the hideout began near Lake Kimberley, so that's where we started. It's thrilling to imagine what it was like for Half Moon Harry all those years ago, sneaking through the trees and the saddlebags full of stolen gold. Follow the secret trail he marked so he could find the way back. His hideout by the light of a half moon. There yelled Rolly, as he pointed to the tree cut into its side with the shape of a half moon. My heart's starting to pounding, as if it's just run in a race at school. Sports today, it was our first cup. The half moon was like a secret arrow wondering which way to the compass to go. We checked our compass west, so that's the way we went, carefully checking every tree for another half moon sign. That's when I saw the next one. We were getting warm. A bit further on, Roy's found another one. Then another. It was fantastic. They were hot on the trail of Half Moon Harry. 150 years after he had died. But now Roy and I were running from tree to tree. We were excited. Then everything started to look a bit too familiar. We realized we were back at actually the same place we had started. We had been running around in a great big circle. That's when we heard laughing from behind a big outcrop of rocks. It was Karofsky and some of his gang. "What are you lot doing here?" I said, thinking that I knew the answer already. "Well, we are not doing lunch," said Karofsky, and his mates laughed so much they sounded like a branch of chickens and feeding time. Find any treasure?" asked Karofsky with a grin on his face. "No," I said. "You cut those marks into the tree, didn't you?" "Me?" said Karofsky. I'm not surprised. And he and his gang fell without laughing all over again. Really, I found it really stupid. We sat down on the edge of the lake and took off our backpacks. We didn't say anything to each other. Roy took his shoes off, and so did I. We dangled our feet in the water. We thought about how silly we had been. Marks cut into trees 150 years ago would look very different today to the Half Moon marks that Karofsky and his bands of foes that carnival in the bark. The thrill of searching for hidden treasure. We cloud the centers. Juggernaut Dad always say we have to think through locations and certificates. That's how people curious decide, and that's how people got to the moon, by thinking things through, by being located in sentences. Dad always says everything in the world can be understood through scientists' expert. One thing, would you are so cute, and whatever he say, that he tries to pinch my neck. Check. Look, shouted Robbie. There's right in front of our feet, floating on the edge of the lake, was a duck. It was dead. Its left leg were trailing to behind it as it was washing into the shore by the tiny rip of Lake Kimber. I wonder how it died. I said. I looked at Robbie. He said it was wondering the same thing. Then both of us had a terrible fall at the same time. Krusty, we both said, could Krusty and his friends have killed it? We looked around, but they were gone. Rolly and I put on the ski gloves and mask. We prepared to do an astro on the duck. It was on the branch of an animal showing where Mom worked. She was helping us find out how it had died. I love helping Mom. The animal story, but Rolly was looking at a little quest. When we are finishing, we will put some stuffing in it and pop it in the oven. Have a lovely roasted duck dinner. But Mom joked and Rolly didn't smile. Inside the stomach of the duck, we found some small stones and some pellets from a shotgun. Mom told us that duck forget on the floor of the lake. The swallow stones to help with their decisions. The duck must have swallowed some of the shotgun pellets. We as well. And that's probably what killed it. Funny, I thought to myself, ducks can die from either beginning shot or swallowing shots. Then I saw the tiny gold nugget dangling under the swirl line. I picked it up with a pair of tweezers. Now I never seen a real piece of gold before. That's strange, Mom said, looking at a map on the wall. The old gold mine areas are about here, 100 kilometers away, on the other side of the maybe hills. Maybe it got washed down into the lake, I said, looking at the rivers on the map. Maybe, said Mom. Or maybe it's from Half Moon Harry's lost treasure. Robbie said it. He hadn't said much for a while because he been thinking so questioning, but he didn't look so sick now as he pointed to the map on the wall. What if Half Moon Harry's hideout is at the bottom of the lake? Kimberly and the gold is some of his hidden treasure. Why would his Christian make his hideout at the bottom of a lake? Mom said, and Robbie gave her one of those. Oh, I didn't think of that look. Robbie slumbered into the corner of the sugar, looking pale, looking pale. The directions, but then I had an idea. I got out one of the old maps of Lake Kimberley from 1850. Then I compared it to a new map of the areas just as I had thought. The lake got bigger over the 150 years. What if Half Moon Terry had made his hideout right on the edge of the lake? And what if the lake has risen so much that it sunburned the hideout? It was sure I said I was onto something. Please, Dad, can't we use the radio telescope to help us find the treasure? I said, using my pillar's voice. Look, George, Dad said, as he looked up from his work. I knew he was going to set me a challenge. If you can tell me how the radio telescope can help to locate this treasure, then I will let you use it. Well, I'm not really sure, but maybe we can use remote sensors. I said. Dad looked over to the top of his glasses, and I knew I was on the right track. Remote system, go on. By animals and deaths and skeletal that orbiting Earth. We can get information on the areas below. It would be like climbing a really high tree to get a good look around at what on the ground. I said, and what sort of remote sensing information? We'll help you find the treasure, Dad asked. He was really good at asking the right question to keep me on track. I'm not really sure, I said. Decision. Dad thought a moment, which, as far as thinking went, was the same as me thinking none. Stopped for about 3 days, then he said, I'm sorry, George, I haven't got any decisions right now. But just because I can't think of anything doesn't mean you won't use remote sensors. Is a good idea. You can have half of an hour in the control room. Thanks, Dad. I'm Ginger. So Robbie and I rushed off. We sat in front of the computer screen in the control room. In the studio, the Imagine of Lights. Kimber, we could almost imagine we were up in the sky looking down on the earth. But the scaly Imagine wasn't actually showing us the location of Half Moon Harry's treasure. Could be get information on the different surface, temperature of the lake, and how much heat he was being radiated from the rocks around the lake. We could even find out how thick the area lake and could be even out how thick the area was in different parts of the lake. For 150 years old, the richer treasure, not even the best scaly in the world, could show us that. We have got to think like a bitch, Robbie said. Stand and deliver. I said, that's what pictures were supposed to have said. To make. People on the stagecoach put their hands up and hand over all their gold. Here's a list of everything Half Moon Harry stole from the Grandel stole a few days before he was captured. Robbie said Winky balanced the gunpowder and tag. But how does that help us now? I wondered. Out aloud as I stopped. At the computer screen, Robbie stood up and started walking around. I could see he was thinking really hard. Imagine what if it was like Robbie said. Half Moon Harry takes all his stolen supplies back to his hideout, but even a few days later, he gets captured and hanged. He goes to his grave, the only one knowing the actual location of his hideout. Rolly was pacing around really fast now. Thinking about it, the lake slowly rises over the years. The water covers everything in his hideout. The Rolly and was talking. I kept starting at the skillet imagine of the Lake Kimber. There was ugly around the lake, but the southeastern corner, the construction of Ellery, they're really high. Well, I was trying to figure out, but Robbie continues to think out loud. So everything in the Half Moon Harry's hideout is now underwater. All the buried barrels and gunpowder start to rot, and the gunpowder discovers into the lake. That's it. Now I shouted, fimbering. That's why I ugly. So think just there. There's more Fister. What's gunpowder got to do with the Fister and Eloise? Asked Rolly. I did a scientific project on solo that term. Some of the champs infested like a precision and slimmed a night in gunpowder too. The gunpowder from Half Moon Harry's hideout is the Fister, the making the Ellery grow. Rolly and I both started at the imagine on the screen. See the construction of Ellery. Well, that's where Half Moon Harry's hideout is. I couldn't believe it. We had just used a skillet hundreds of kilometers above the earth to pinpoint a Fisher hideout from 150 years ago. All we had to do is find it. What are you going to do? What are you doing? Said Krusty. He asked. Watch us put on the clippers and goggles, Rolly. And I were on the edge of the lake, where the Langle was at the thickest. We are not doing lunch. That's for sure. I said Kurosky and his mates didn't laugh. We weren't going to tell them we were still looking for Half Moon's Harry's treasure. It would be much better fun to break through the surface of the lake with a bag full of gold in their hands and see it look on their face. We swam down through the Elango and start searching the bottom of the lake for key. It wasn't looking good. Every time I had to come up for air, I thought to myself that we'll never find the hideout. It probably didn't even exist. There was some other located reason why the illegal construction, and it had nothing to do with the picture or hiding treasure. That's when Robbie burst out of the water waving an old bottle. He found a mark on the bottle of the lake. He found another and another. We knew exactly what they were as soon as we saw them. Old whiskey bottles. My eyes could something on the side of a huge boulder. I rumbled the worn shape of a half moon cut into the side of the rock. Back in Harry's time, the boulder was probably camouflaged with branch and leaves, but now it's all that was gone, and all that was left was the half moon pointing the entrance to the secret cave. We had found Half Moon's Harry's hideout. Well, Robbie, I didn't actually leap out of the water of the lake. Kimber Kurosky catches bags of gold. Actually, we didn't find any gold at all. What we didn't find in Half Moon's Harry's hideout were old saddlebags made of leather, and inside them were thousands of old banknotes. Half Moon's Harry must have thought banknotes were more precious than gold nuggets. The only trouble was that now the money had rotten the water. What was once a fortune was the mushy handful of old paper. Robbie and I smiled at each other through our goggles. Then we both blew bubbles and laughed as we swam to the surface. We might not have found treasure, but Kurosky and his mates did stop laughing at us, but they were amazed that we got to such length to prove we were right, and they were impressed with the census metaphor we used to find Harry's hideout. In fact, Roy and I became friends, and Kurosky actually, and we got to taste their father's famous cheese Kurosky sausages. You see, beside the old saddlebags, we also found a bell with a Half Moon cabins into it. Blank. That proved without a doubt that we had found the real hideout. We donated the things we had found to the museum, and the school put on a sausage slice on the sizzle on the day. We often handed over the artifacts we found of Kurosky's real name was Nickel Hose, but after tasting his father's famous sausages, Rolly and I were happy to call him Krusty and be his friend. And the tiny piece of gold inside the stomach of the duck for never did find out where it came from, but that is what so much fun about investigating and using your brain and synthesis knowledge, and one thing leads to another, and before you know it, you are looking up at the stars to find the answers you think down the earth. One more page. All done.